She had never seen anything go so high or fall so far. Uncle Ignacio cheers along with the rest of the crowd. Young THALITA's ears vibrate from the sound, but she keeps her eyes on the falling kite. It looks like it's dancing, twirling in the wind as it descends. The match was the highlight of the day, exciting from the moment the 10 contenders threw their kites skyward. The cheers came in waves as strings crossed, and one by one the kites fell. The silence surprised THALITA as the contenders on the field came down to 2 men, a teenager from Botafogo and Uncle Ignacio. Mom and Dad hug Ignacio so hard they don't notice baby Renato crying in Mom's arms. Ignacio is beaming, the same twinkle THALITA saw in his eye as he assembled his kite that morning. She watches Ignacio walk up to the teenager and shake his hand. The boy smiles. Of course he smiles. He's among friends and peers on a bright, sunny day in the most beautiful country in the world, celebrating. The boy doesn't care that he lost. It's the people around us who matter most. THALITA looks above the crowd and watches the boy's kite touch down softly on the ground. He fidgets with his hands. All he wants to do is fly a kite or work on the puzzle sitting in his bedroom. So much talking. It's useless. It's boring. We're here to fly kites, not talk. Renato looks around at the other kids. None of them are fidgeting like he is. They're not shifting their feet or looking around. It's so strange how they can stand so still and watch THALITA demonstrate kite design. Not just watch, but listen. Really listen. But people always listen to THALITA. They listen to her thoughts and laugh at her jokes and talk to her and invite her to things. Grown-ups, kids, everybody. Renato tried one of her jokes himself. No one laughed. He stops studying the other kids and watches his sister. She is special, even among the kids their age. He makes eye contact with her and she smiles. He smiles back, but it's a sad smile. He knows, no matter how hard he tries, no one will ever look at him the way they look at her. Finally, THALITA ends her talk and it's time to throw their kites into the air. It's a beautiful, sunny day, bright even through his sunglasses. He hears some of the kids comment that it's too bright to see their kites so high above the beach, but he doesn't let them distract him. He can see his kite just fine, and he can see his opponent's kites too. THALITA says it's unsportsmanlike to knock out other kites so quickly. Renato never understood this. It is literally the game. His smile grows as each opponent falls. A true, joyous smile. Hold on. Why is my string gone slack? Renato looks up and sees his kite floating downward. THALITA's cheering next to him, grabbing his shoulders and whooping. No, this cannot happen. If I can't be popular and I can't be a winner, then what can I be? THALITA accepts the bottle from her friend on the right. Whatever's in the bottle, she likes it. After a generous sip, she passes the bottle to her friend on the left. They are sitting around a small bonfire on the beach, all 10 of them, laughing and singing into the quiet night. The perfect capper to a long, tiring, fun day at Ignacio's shop. Renato went home immediately after they finished closing up. He rambled about needing to prep, and his rambling turned into a lecture about how THALITA should prep too. She stopped listening at that point. What a silly boy. THALITA laughs at the thought. Renato doesn't have the slightest idea. This time with friends, most of whom she met at the beach, is many-splendored. It is careless abandon. It is utter joy. And it is prep. THALITA has crossed kites with most of these kids. Some of them she had taught herself. Others were already regulars when she started working for her uncle. All of them are very good kite fighters. And THALITA has been around them long enough to realize they fight kites the way they tell jokes, sing songs, and ask questions. Some of them handle victory with more grace than others, and some of them suffer defeat with more bitterness. Being with her friends helps her be a better kite fighter, before, during, and after the match. And she gets to stay up all night having fun. Try beating that, Renato. It was his most difficult match. Renato always liked ending a kite fight quickly, and he knows that THALITA knows this. She did what he expected her to do, stay away from him early on and let him take down most of the competitors. Renato was happy to do it. There's a reason I can take down these other fighters. This sport is a puzzle. I've put in the work. I've studied the puzzle. When the field of competitors narrowed to Renato and THALITA, he turned his focus on her. He went on the offensive, chasing her back and forth across the sky. Her theatrics always annoyed him. This is not supposed to be a show. This is a fight. Renato finally outmaneuvers his sister and catches her string with his kite. Tangled, they tug at their strings. Not too much, Renato reminds himself. One sharp pull is all it takes to snap your string and hand victory to your opponent. The crowd is louder than ever, waiting in anticipation to see who will win. But Renato already knows it will be him. A few gentle pulls of his string, and he saws through THALITA's line. His kite soars, the last one in the air, as THALITA's begins its descent. The crowd cheers, but Renato doesn't hear them. Victory is for him and him alone, and one other person. He runs to his sister and picks her up in a big bear hug. Whatever their differences, whatever way she bothers him, THALITA has always been there, pushing Renato to be better in every way, whether she knows it or not. Renato won, but it is their victory together. She sits at one of the tables. Her dad says she's too young to sit at the bar, even though at 11 in the morning, the bar is not open. As if she's gonna jump behind the bar and start serving herself cachaça or something. Dad returns from outside, holding the stranger by the shoulder. He looks like a grown-up, but THALITA knows that everyone over 20 looks like a grown-up to her. At 10 years old, the world is still divided into kids, big kids, and grown-ups. THALITA was with her dad when they crossed paths with the stranger. THALITA was going to be dropped off at home for lunch. Mom is home for the afternoon, and Dad needs the afternoon with his band. But that plan changed when they found the stranger spray painting the club in the alley. Dad takes the stranger across the club. He's calling out for Angelo, the club owner. He doesn't seem to notice THALITA or his band hanging out on the stage for that matter. He wouldn't want me to follow him. He yelled at me to go back in the club when the stranger started cussing outside. She shifts from seat to seat, table to table, closer to Dad, Angelo, and the stranger. They're standing together by the hall to Angelo's office. They have no idea THALITA is inching closer and closer. Dad shows Angelo a picture on his phone. She remembers Dad took a picture of the graffiti. Angelo studies the picture, and his usual scowl lightens into a smile. She doesn't hear what he says, but she hears the three of them laughing. By the time she's close enough to eavesdrop, Angelo has taken the stranger down the hall. Dad finally notices THALITA. What just happened, Dad? He looks back down the hallway. I think I just got that young artist a job. Renato flicks the switch and the lights crackle and hum. It is still dark outside, and through the window he can hear the waves rolling against the shore. 2 hours. That's how long Renato has until Uncle Ignacio comes to open the kite shop. The floor beneath Renato's sandals crunch as he gathers his supplies. Uncle Ignacio gave up trying to sweep the sand out of the shop years ago. He would say the shop was one with the beach. THALITA would complain about it, but she never did anything about it. today is the day that Renato does something about it. And he wouldn't just stop at sweeping some sand off the floor. The counters need a deep clean, and the windows. Renato is excited to replace the garbage bin with the one he bought last night, the one with the lid that you open with the foot pedal. Once he sweeps the last of the sand out of the shop door, he fills a bucket with soapy water. I've been working at Ignacio's shop for 3 years now. I came into work every day. I did my job well enough to make Ignacio and THALITA happy. But I should have stepped up like this long ago. He scrubs the grease stains off the floor, taking the last stubborn grains of sand with them. He remembers what Mauricio told him in his last days of hospice care. Everyone gets to where they're supposed to be, and everyone gets there in their own time. Renato grew to love volunteering at the retirement home. Taking care of others taught him a lot about taking care of himself and the people closest to him. He blinks and realizes the sun is pouring through the open windows. He can hear people laughing along the beach as they put down their towels and open their parasols. Ignacio's at the door, speechless. The shop hasn't looked this clean in years. Wait until THALITA sees it. It was supposed to be a fun girls' night out. THALITA walks back to the table with a tray of shots and realizes Luisa, Dolores, and Beatrice aren't there. Where did they go? She hears excited chatter from a group of girls standing by the bathroom. They're not waiting in line. In between the excited chatter, she hears yelling from the other side of the bathroom door. THALITA breaks through the crowd of girls and into the bathroom. She remembers Dolores had mentioned that she would smack Antonia if she saw her here again, and she only got angrier the more THALITA and the others tried to calm her down. THALITA stands, gobsmacked, at the sight of Dolores and Antonia on the white-tiled floor, arms flailing. I must have missed the big smack Dolores was talking about. Luisa and Beatrice are against the wall, yelling for them to stop. Someone creeps out of a stall and steps around the fight, leaving without even washing her hands. THALITA is scared and excited. Let's see if I remember what Mom taught me. Antonia is on top, swinging her arms down, ignoring Dolores' cries of "Stop! Get off! And leave me alone!" THALITA dives in, brings her arms around Antonia, and rolls her away from Dolores, pinning her on the ground. Antonia tries to push THALITA off her, but THALITA comes down, putting her weight on Antonia. She curls her arms and legs around Antonia's. Try taking a swing at me now, Antonia. But she can't. They are interlocked on the floor, almost frozen in place. Antonia can't hurt THALITA, and THALITA can't hurt Antonia. But the point isn't to win the fight by hurting anyone. The point is to win the fight by stopping it. Mom wanted me to be able to handle myself without getting arrested. THALITA tries to speak without compromising her position. She shouts to be heard over Antonia's obscenities. Get a bouncer in here, now! Beatrice runs out of the bathroom. Dolores watches, stunned, amazed. Is that jiu-jitsu? THALITA smiles. Mom always said it would come in handy one day. His mother would always say no one is an island. Renato knew what the saying meant, and he knew it wasn't true. Renato felt like an island most of his life, either unable or unwilling to build bridges and connect to the other islands that would pass him by. Renato breathed in the clean air. No cars allowed here. If I really were an island, I'd want to be Isla de Paqueta. His family had brought him out here when he was a teenager for Festa de São Roque. His family loved it. Everyone loved it. He hated it. Too crowded, too loud, and the fireworks. Renato couldn't understand how anyone could enjoy fireworks. But Renato isn't a teenager anymore, and today isn't Festa de São Roque. The island is quiet and peaceful. The sun is shining, and the breeze is cool. His feet ache from hiking the island, but he doesn't mind. There is peace to be had on Paqueta that is unlike anywhere else. Renato drifts into a lush park and sits on a bench. His fingers twitch. He doesn't have his guitar with him or any puzzles. His phone battery died long ago. He relaxes his hands and tries to enjoy the stillness. An older couple walk past him, towards the trees, and roll out a blanket on the grass. Renato watches them as they eat and drink, laugh, and kiss. He wonders if they are from Rio or Brazil. He wonders if they have kids and are enjoying a stolen moment away from family. They look happy. Renato tries to picture himself sitting on that blanket, having a picnic with... who? It's hard to imagine anyone would want that sort of life with him. I'm happy to be an island, I think. I've got a long life ahead of me. I may change my mind. The breeze picks up again, and he closes his eyes, taking it in.
Subscribe to Lady Judge, cause she's my friend till the end.